The starting point was actually just literally playing with it. And so if you can imagine, I've got, in some cases, I can't remember which one. The one that had the most stems would have been God of War, I think. It was just like stemmed ad infinitum. There's loads of stuff in there. And that was just fun from a nerd point of view, music nerd point of view, of just like digging in and be like, oh, I never heard that in the original. I mean, now that I know it's there, I can hear it, but like, you just didn't pick up on these little details. And you're like, okay, so that's a little cool thing. What happens if I cut that up and loop that? And what happens if I, so you're literally just like tearing it up and rearranging it and just playing with it like as a collage and not worrying too much at that point about trying to retain the identity of the original IP, just literally just playing with it to get creative with it and sort of start to learn it in a way, learn the different parts and what's going on and building up like a mind map of what all the bits are. And then just start playing with it and you get these little, I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like if I take that and pitch shift it, I get like a new chord progression that's not part of the original, but you just sort of just spend days playing about with it. And then I've got all these little sketches at that point of little musical ideas that are these derivative things made from the original. And then it's like, okay, start mashing those together and start to create some form out of it. And quite often that's the stuff you hear at the beginning of the track is the closest to my original experiments because obviously you've got the build up. You've got a build at the start of a track. The Kratos theme it's playing around with the vocals.
Well, you did a cool beat shot with the boy. Yeah. Where the music cuts out and it just
Yeah, it's one of those things where like you have that idea and you're like, nah, I couldn't do that. It's too silly. And then I had a version of the track that was close-ish to the final thing, but not quite done yet. And I just mentioned it to Nico as like, I thought maybe I could drop a little boy sample in there. And he's like, yeah, do that. People will love that. That would be great. So I'm like, okay, I'll try it. And it's me doing the boy.
Is it?
It is. It's me. It's not the original actor.
Boy.
I knew that Nickel Harper was used in the God of War soundtrack, and it's a Swedish folk instrument. And I just so happened to have bought one to play on the soundtrack for Tethered. And then the thing is, the melody I wrote for that, which is the one that goes do 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 do, that's actually kind of bluesy. It's not a very Nordic like phrase, but it's on the Nickel Harper, so it's fine for God of War. And I suppose that's the other thing is like, yeah, so the remix is, if you were to be cruel, you would describe the remix as done as the original themes plus beats. Which, on some level, that is what they are, but like I say, there's this whole other like really long creative process I went through to sort of try and make them more than that. And so each of them do have new parts in them and new melodies that I've put in there. Partly because that's necessary, like it's one of the ways to take the serious adult IP and bring it into the kid-friendly world of Astro Bot was to, have fun with it, but also write some tunes that are a little bit more jaunty. And, the God of War stuff is so serious and
it is
oppressive. Like, I was like, it's okay, it's a Nickel Harper, so if I put in this little slightly bluesy riff in there, just to make it a bit more like comfortable, it just sort of chamfers off that war edge, makes it into something a little bit more lighthearted and fun.